Renfroe şu anda sahanın lideri.
Işınlandı oraya, ışınlandı. Renfroe.
Takım arkadaşı saniye. Çok güzel bir pas Hendricks'ten. Rebound asist.
Ege arar içeriye diyebildi. Renfroe'dan Christmas'a. O kaçırdı, Ege tamamladı. Ege arar. Şimdi sırtı dönüp dışarıdan Renfroe. 3 sayılık atış uzaklardan. Alex Renfroe. Galatasaray'ın üçlükleri maçın sonuna sıkıştı.
You know, growing up in my family, you know, my family was, they were active in all sports. So, you know, my mom, my dad, my brother and my sister, you know, we played all sports. So, my mom and dad introduced me to basketball, and, you know, this was something that we did as a family. You know, as a family activity, we enjoyed playing basketball and other sports. So, that was my introduction. Always, man. This is from day one. You know, I've always heard this, that I was too small, or, you know, I wasn't strong enough, or, you know, that I didn't have enough weight. You know, this is something that I've heard all my career. Even as a kid, you know, I heard the same thing. And, you know, what am I supposed to say to that? You know, I am small, for sure. I'm skinny. I'm not as strong as other people, yeah. But, you know, with that comes other things. Like maybe I'm faster or maybe more athletic. So, you know, the people that said that, you know, I think they didn't look at the positives that could come from that. And, you know, I think that's been the biggest thing. You know, I grew up fighting for everything. I mean, not like I had a rough life or anything like that, but, you know, my brother and sister were both older and bigger than me, and, you know, and I grew up playing with them. So, you know, I always knew I'm always smaller than they are, and, you know, they always showed me that. But, you know, you find a way you find a way to win somehow. And, you know, if that meant I had to be a little nastier than they were, or play a little harder, or, you know, I don't know, spend more energy, you know, I was willing to do that, because, you know, this is my brother and my sister. I can't let them just keep beating me every time. So, you know, it's something that you just get used to from playing, from being around people that are bigger and stronger than you. So you get used to it. I think everybody in my family had a different role in that. You know, I took different things from different people, and you know, I could sit here and break down all of it, but I mean, it would take me forever. Yeah. But, you know, I really did take something from everyone in my family. You know, I felt like I took the things that I thought were a better fit for me, or, you know, or like the most positive. You know, I felt like I took all of these things from them, and you know, even some of the negatives, because this is what happens. You don't only get the positives, you get some of the negatives also. But, you know, my family influenced me. You know, these are the people that I grew up with. These were the people that cared for me the most, and I knew, you know, they had my best interests. So, you know, of course they rubbed off on me just from being around each other for so long. You know, growing up, I was an Allen Iverson fan. Allen Iverson, and then Steve Nash. So, you know, the fight and stuff like that, that was from Iverson for sure. You know, they say pound for pound, he might be one of the best basketball players ever. Pound for pound. And, you know, small, you know, skinny guy, you know, not as big as everyone else, but, you know, he found a way to be successful and have a great career. So, you know, he was my first influence basketball-wise. And then, you know, after him came Steve Nash. And that was just from running the point, being a point guard, and, you know, and things that he did, he was very successful at doing, you know, creating for his teammates. So, you know, those two guys, I would say basketball, you know, that's where mine came from. It was Trevecca Nazarene University. Yeah. NAIA school. It's in my hometown, and this is one of my, both are in my hometown. But Trevecca was a smaller school that was NAIA. It's kind of like Division II, and Belmont was Division I. So when I transferred from Trevecca, I went to a Division I school, and it was Belmont. Yeah, she was a couple years ahead of me. She finished playing when I was at my first school.
Oh, okay.
So I never got to see her play.
Oh.
But you know, I've seen video of her, and you know, and you can look in the record books, and she's in there. You know, she was a great rebounder, and you know, that is what she was known for, rebounding the basketball. So she was great. She was great at it, and you know, yeah, I met her there. Really, simple, man. I'm just with my family. You know, anything that me and my family can do together, you know, I'm always down for that. Even things that I may not like, but you know, as long as we're together, you know, everything's great. You know, but we do things together. You know, movies. I mean, we go everywhere together. Movies, out to eat, zoos, aquarium. I mean, anything that we can do together. It was very tough. You know, that's probably, I would say that was one of the toughest years of my life. Not saying I didn't have a good year. I had a good year there. I enjoyed myself there. But, you know, being away from your family that you're around all the time, and, you know, your loved ones, and just being away, you know, it's tough. You know, it's my first time. It wasn't my first time out of the U.S., but it was my first time alone, on my own, where, you know, my parents weren't there. My wife, you know, she was my girlfriend at that time. She wasn't there with me. So, you know, this was my first time really being alone as a, you know, as a young man. So, you know, it was a big shock from every aspect, from, you know, from basketball to personal life to personal growth. It was just a big shock, and you know, but it was a very, very important and valuable year for me. You know, I learned a lot of things about myself and about basketball, and you know, and things went from there. I think sometimes, you know, I always have a different perspective on this. I hear a lot of people say that, you know, like when they look at my career, they're like, oh, you've been to a lot of different places. Oh, this is, you know, like in a negative way. Yeah. You know, for me, I think it's positive. I think it's the best thing about my career is that I've been everywhere. I've played everywhere. You know, I've been all over Europe. You know, places that people can only imagine going or see in books and magazines. You know, I've been everywhere, and you know, I played in a lot of different places. I've seen a lot of different cultures, and I think this is the best thing about my career. And you know, there were some teams that, you know, I would have liked to stay, and there were some teams that there's no way I wanted to stay. So you know, signing year-to-year contracts, you know, I think this was better for me. I mean, it was good. It was good for the team. It was great for me also, because at the end of the year, I could reevaluate whether I want to be here another year or whether I want to move on. And you know, the craziest part about it is some of the places that I wanted to stay, they didn't want me to stay, And the places that wanted me to stay, I didn't want to stay. So that's the crazy part about how that worked out. And, you know, but I still say the same thing. Everything happens for a reason. You know, one of the things that I knew when my agent proposed the passport idea to me was that I was going to miss time at home in the summer. And for me, man, those 2 months that you're home in the summer, these are the best 2 months of your year, because you're at home, you're with all your family, and you get to do the things that you're accustomed to doing. So, you know, sacrificing a month of that or 2 or 3 weeks of that, you know, is a very big deal. But, you know, it's also a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. You know that the passport will give you some opportunities that you may not have without it. And, you know, basketball is not forever. So you have to take advantage of, you know, every opportunity that you have, and it was a great opportunity. I mean, you know, you see the guys talking about the season being late. I mean, it is a long season. You know, 10 months, you know, is 10 months, and then sometimes when you factor in the games, you know, it's not a lot of games for 10 months. You know, so I do agree that, you know, it's a very long season. But, you know, at the same time, you know, this is what we signed up for. You know, I say if you don't like 10-month season, you know, you can. I mean, I think that's the good thing about the variety, that you can pick somewhere that's not 10 months. So, you know, I've accepted, you know, myself, I've accepted that it is 10 months, and this is what, going into every year, this is what I imagine that, okay, I'll be here for 10 months. If I'm here for 9 months, you know, okay, but, you know, I've already said in my mind that I'll be here for 10 months. So, you know, I kind of feel like, you know, if we had the opportunity to change this, yeah, it would be great if it was shorter, but, you know, right now it's 10 months, 10 months. So, you know, I make sure I bring my family with me. And, you know, once my family's there, you know, home is where the heart is. So when your family's there, I mean, you feel like you're at home. So. You know, my opinion is going to be a little different than, you know, someone on the other side. You know, I felt like, you know, in Germany, I felt like we controlled the game.
And you played great.
I felt like I played okay. I played okay. You know, the team did well. But us winning by 10 points, we knew was not enough. Because we knew when we came to Istanbul, you know, Galatasaray fans have a reputation of, you know, making some things happen positively for their team. So we knew this coming into the game, and we knew that the 10 points wasn't enough. And, you know, sure enough, the first quarter, we knew from the jump ball that, you know, there was going to be some problems. You know, we had some calls that we would have called questionable at the time that we didn't agree with, but, you know, this is what happens. You know, referees ref the games. There's nothing you can say about that. But we knew those 10 points weren't good enough. We knew that. But, you know, going in, you have to do the best you can do. And, you know, we came here and we were down 20 points at the half. And, you know, closing the game, we actually had a chance to tie the game or to win. You know, I remember. Honestly, it didn't have anything to do with them. It was just one of those days where, you know, when you're shooting it, it feels good, but it's just not going in there. And it was one of those days. You know, I remember shooting a couple of them, and I was like, I know that's going in. And it touched, and once it touched the rim, I was like, oh, that's not gonna bounce in. And it bounced out, but, you know, I mean, it was one of those days. But I don't think I've ever been 0 for 5. I don't even think from the 3-point line, but especially from free throws. Man, that's incredible, man. And so happened that it was me missing them in crunch time, you know, so that made me sick. But what can you say, man? You live and you learn, and you have to move on. But you know, I would say we were at fault for this because when we were in Munich, we didn't do what we needed to do. We could have made it a lot easier on ourselves in Munich. We could have, but you know, we didn't. I guess we didn't factor in that, you know, 10 points wasn't enough. You know, I've always liked Galatasaray, man. I've always enjoyed playing against them. You know, every time I come in the gym, I always know that it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting game anytime they're involved. You know, so I was excited about it. I was excited about it. When my agent presented it to me, you know, I was very excited from the beginning. And you know, I always say that you can't get too excited because you never know what's gonna happen until you sign on that line. So, you know, I was excited. I was very excited. I was looking forward to playing in the gym with the fans and, you know, just being a part of the organization. So, you know, I was happy about it. Like I said, we've been missing a few guys. You know, here and there we're missing. So I think we haven't got to gel like we want to so far. But the communication is there, the potential is there. And you know, we communicate and we have our times we have our times where we play great together. We can see those flashes, but we have to with experience we'll grow and we'll get better. I mean, the craziest thing is this is the first time I've ever been the oldest guy on the team, and you know, when I see those guys, you know, they really make me feel old. You know, by the way that I talk and the way that I think now, you know, is much different than, you know, 9 years ago when I was entering my first year. So you know, we're as veterans, we're trying to do our part to help some guys out if they need it. But you know, they've been playing basketball also. I think they're adjusting to Europe, but you know, they know how to play basketball as well. And you know, the good part is that they have their own view of basketball, and I think this will make all of us better because we all have different perspectives, and we can all help each other. Yeah, man, I've heard about some of these stories, man. It was 154. Yeah, so I haven't got to talk to Coach about this yet, but I will eventually. But you know, I like Coach, man. He's demanding. He knows what he wants, and he's straightforward. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier to be with a coach that's straightforward, and he tells you exactly what he wants and how he wants it. You know, this is very easy, and you know, I like this about Coach. I think this is something that could make us a very, very good team. We have to take what he says and pay attention to those details, and you know, we work together, you know, everything will be great.
Renfroe şu anda sahanın lideri.
Işınlandı.